Hi everyone, I'm Briana Beverly and I'm here with Floyd Cashflow Diaz. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing amazing. So I kind of just have to ask, I want to go right into it. Why is your nickname Cashflow? What was the meaning behind it?
So, cash flow, as the tattoo says, I got that name monikered, to me by a great champion, as we know, and over the years, I would say it was around like 6 years old. I was able to be exposed on a good platform at Showtime, HBO 24/7, and ever since then, I kind of just skyrocketed, just blew up. That it kind of just gave me the platform, and then the rest is history.
Yeah. So who was the champion that named
Oh,
you?
yeah, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I came into the gym. I was 6 years old. They didn't know if they wanted to train me because at the time there was a lot of just professionals. I was the only kid at the time, and I started training. Then after that, Roger started liking me. We're hitting mitts, and then I kept going to the gym every day. And Floyd ended up popping in, seeing me, and was just like kind of like fascinated with me, this little Mexican kid, just hitting the mids, looking sharp, kind of having a swag to him. And then that kind of just blew up from there. He said we need to get this kid on the camera. I was hitting mids in the
Yeah.
ring, and he would only let me train, so I would be training while he's training. And then he said let's get him on the camera, and then he came up with that nickname on the spot.
So your fight is actually going to be in Vegas. It's going to be on the 21st. How do you feel about it?
I feel pretty good, honestly. Just watched the back of my opponent again. Just to brush up on a couple things. But really, I mean, I don't really like to do too much studying. I feel like this. I'm already at the end of my camp. Ain't no more fit I can get. This is really just me dropping the weight. Cause that is also one of the harsh things about boxing. You got to make weight. So
Yeah.
training, staying in shape, losing that weight. That's it.
I know that you mentioned weight. I know it's really hard, especially for someone like me who loves food. I love food. While you're training, while you have to get at a certain level or certain weight limit, what is the one food that you crave the most during this time?
I would say for me I crave sweets. Like it just specifically candy. Like every time I get gas or whatever, I'm at the gas station, I'll be like, man, I want some candy. Like I'll pass by it and I have to pay for gas. I'm like, ugh. I be thinking about it, but I'm like, nah, I gotta stay strong. But that's mainly
Right.
it. Just really like really really sweet things like candy, like chocolate, sour stuff. Like I just be wanting that. But everything else, I mean, I eat what I want. I just eat less of it.
Let's get more into your career. You're 21 years old. You're still kind of young. You do have 11 fights that you've already won, three
hmm
knockouts. Did you always know you were going to be a boxer growing up? And how old were you when you started?
I kind of always knew. I mean, I would say I'm kind of I kind of was influenced a little bit. I mean, I was named Floyd. Floyd's not really a Hispanic name. I was named Floyd, after Mayweather, and so that happened. But I guess I would always watch fights with my dad, and just always be around that scene. And he kind of was teaching me a little bit at 2 years old. Kind of like messing with me. But one day he asked me what sport I wanted to do, and to no surprise, I said boxing by choice, of course. And then I just kept going with it. It was something I kind of feel like I was just born into. Like I knew that's what I wanted to do.
So going on to the WBC champion, you became one, a youth one. How was that feeling in November of 2023 last year where you basically were the winner? How did that feel? I'm pretty sure you felt amazing, right?
I felt great. Honestly, like when I win, it doesn't look like I'm like, I just do my little thing, that's it, and I'm like, all right, thank you, take pictures. But it does give me a lot of joy inside because it kind of really just shows all the hard work I've been doing since I was a little kid. I'm 21 years old, so that's really young, especially to be on the scene that I'm at. And to be where I'm at, I'm blessed, thankful to God and the people that are around me that are helping me get to the point that I want to be at. So, I mean, it kind of really just like I would say just like a inside excitement, where it's like, I see the belt, every day in the room, I just propped up, just chilling there, and I'm like, sometimes I pass it just whatever, but then sometimes I pass it, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I got
Yeah.
I got a little youth world title, so I was like, that's pretty cool.
Congratulations on that. I think that's a big achievement that at the age of 21 is insane to say, like, I have it, you
Right.
know? So congrats on that
Thank you.
for sure.
Thank
Tell me a little bit about how that came to be, what happened, and how it came to be. Yeah.
So yeah, I had first started. I actually got my managerial contract first before I ended up, getting a top rank one.
Yes.
So I went with my manager, and then my manager basically the next day got me a top rank deal. It was a 3 fight deal at first, right? Um, they not a lot of companies really sign a lot of like smaller guys,
Yeah.
like smaller weight guys, and so that's why they had to do a 3 fight deal to see maybe if they liked me or they didn't. And of course, I passed the test. The first fight, they loved me. They wanted to sign me, and we were like, no, we just wait, keep waiting, keep waiting. We waited till the third fight. After the third fight, Bob was like, we need to get you signed. So I got signed, and that's basically it. Here we are now, 11 fights later.
Yeah, 11 fights later and 3 knockouts.
Mhm.
What is something that you can say honestly from the last fight you had? You won that fight. What's one thing that you can implement that fight into this next fight that you have?
I think I would really take that calmness that I had that last fight into this fight. The dude I'm fighting, he's a little I mean, I would say he's not really wild, but he's kind of like wild with his pace. It's not really like, okay, I'm gonna go slow, then I'm gonna
Yeah.
go fast, or he's not like one like he'll stay slow, he'll stay fast. Kind of moves around. Sometimes he switches, so he's a little awkward. Um, but I like that. I like awkward. I'm awkward too, I would say. So, um, it does me justice.
What is your goal in 5 years?
I would say in 5 years, I plan on being champion next year. I'll probably have a couple title defenses. I'll probably say at least 4 division, 3 division champion, and then yeah, 3 different weight classes, of course, and then undisputed on at least one or two, and then by there it's mainly me just racking up those title defenses, and then seeing where I can go from there.
Who is somebody that you personally want to fight?
For now, I don't. Oh, I would say in a way, right? That's the main goal right now. But he's at 22, so he's a weight class above right now. So I would say right now it'd be his brother. It'd probably be one of those guys. For sure, because you got to take high risk, high reward matching up. It'll be a great build up. Beat his brother. It's gonna be like he's gonna try to get revenge, and and I'm
I'm sure going into a ring, you don't expect a knockout. You'd probably just expect a win, but knockouts just come. Is that how it is with you?
yeah. For me, I go in there. I go in there to win. I'm a type of fighter. I try to win. Like it doesn't even matter how I win, what I have to do to win. Like the game plan. If it has to switch up about 10 times, you know, um, that's not really what my main goal is to get a knockout.
Yeah.
Um, I would say it's just boxing. I always like to win and as clean as I can. Come out with less bruises. No cuts. That's as mainly as possible because at the end of the day, a lot of the fighters aren't thinking of that. Which is it's kind of counterintuitive because you can never know. But I want to leave out with a sharp mind.
What is your advice on younger boxers? I know you were once a young boxer. What would be advice to someone who's maybe, I don't know, trying to get into the amateurs but needs some advice?
I would say for the young and boy or girl, it would be to watch a lot of boxing. Kind of really get really, really interested with it, get fascinated with it. But I would say also have fun with it too. A lot of people, I feel like they try to train their kid too hard or just train too hard in general, especially when they're young. It's good to train hard. I'm not saying don't. I'm all for it as much as you can. But also I have some fun in there. I would say don't spar for like the first year. That's what I did. Don't spar for the first year. Just train and work on your fundamentals. Remember, you could get hurt. It is a sport that you can get hurt, so you have to know that going into it. And don't have one foot, out the door and one foot in. Keep both feet in. You know, make minor adjustments, major adjustments as you keep going along, and fight as much as you can. In my opinion, fight as much as you can amateur wise. Does not matter. I had 210 amateur fights,
Wow.
195 and 15. So you know, I done fought it all. So I would say, go ahead and do that as much as you can, so you can kind of get all that experience. That's why I'm so, I would say, well seasoned, and I still have a lot to learn.
So, what is your goal for now being a pro?
So right now, it's for the world title, of course.
Yes.
But I honestly, my first goal before that evening is main event. You know, I want a main event. You know, pretty soon. I'm 21 years old, so it'd be dope. You know, 21, 22, main eventing somewhere. It would be preferably in New York or here in Vegas. That world title it comes inevitable. You know, everything I'm doing so far is steps towards that. So it comes as prepackaged. You know, as a bundle. So it's mainly that and get into a more comfortable spot where I can feel, you know, more secure and just really just full on professional fighter.
Boxing is a mental sport. It really is. They say it's a physical sport, but I feel like it's also a mental sport because if you don't win a fight, it sometimes can hurt you the way you are.
Right.
You can feel like, damn, like what did I do wrong? And you wish you can go back. So what is something that you can say about fear? Fear and just feeling like loneliness and not knowing what to do.
So for me, I would say this. When it comes to advice on fear or nervousness, it's good to actually have both, in my opinion. I feel like you shouldn't try and attack it to where you can't, like you don't feel it, like you don't feel fear, you don't get nervous. I'd be lying if I told you. I get nervous, you know, but it's more in an anxious way, kind of just to see how good I can perform. You know, I've always had the bright lights on me ever since I was, you know, a young pup, and now, you know, it's nothing really new, just in front of thousands of people live there or watching, you know, around the world. So um, it definitely adds to it. But I'd say having nervousness and fear is good because it helps you be sharper when you fight.
Undefeated right now at 21 years old, it's a lot of pressure.
Right.
Especially being a young one coming into this scene of like pros,
Right.
where a lot of these fighters are probably around 30 years old. So,
Right.
how does that feel? What kind of pressure do you feel having to hold that undefeated title?
For me, it's no pressure. I'm gonna be real with you. Like I know we were just talking about fear and nervousness. For me, it's no pressure. I've been boxing for so long that it doesn't change the fact that I have to kind of be where I want to be, and when I'm fighting, I'm not really worried about the the O and all that. My performance is gonna show in itself that I'm gonna be able to perform, and by performing and the way I know how is when I'll be able to stay undefeated and keep that O. You know, God willing, just strong. I feel in shape. I always feel prepared. I always look good when I fight. You know, and that's it's definitely a dream that I'm living in, you know, and definitely when I'm older, I'm gonna be like, man, I was a little 21-year-old just, going to work on everybody.
In the sport of boxing, for years, many years, a lot of people would fight in their specific weight class and that was it, right? They wouldn't go up, they wouldn't go low. It would always just be what they are and that's who they fight in. Now it feels like a lot of people, because of the names, I think it's the people that are fighting that, let's say for example, you would want to fight someone, of course I'm sure you'd fight someone who is popular, well known, because it gives you that exposure as well.
Right.
So why do you think they're now doing it where a lot of people are kind of leaving their weight class for a little bit and going to fight like a higher weight class?
Um, I think people are doing that just mainly for money. I mean, because naturally, I probably could stay at 18 for like a while, just dominate 118, take the whole division, just be there forever, and I'll be a world champion. Probably won't be as known too. That's the thing. And then you got to think accolades wise. There's accolades, financial, and exposure wise. If there's a big fight, say like in a way, he's at 22. That's a big fight for me. That literally covers all three: exposure, money, like so like financial wise, and divisional wise too, accolades. It does the whole 9 yards. So there'd be no reason for me not to do that. And so that's why I feel other people do it. You know, and Pacquiao, he fought when he fought Oscar De La Hoya, he had to go up 2 weight classes. And he barely went up one. He went up one, and when he weighed in, just enough to actually be, for the fight to legally happen. But I'm pretty sure he had a huge payday. I don't know what the price was, but I'm sure it was over a couple million.
Yeah.
And then he thought he could beat him, so it made him look great. It got them exposure, everything, and he got paid for it.
Do you think that if you were to go into another weight class and let's just say your outcome isn't what you wanted, but you do get the exposure, the money, and the opportunities to kind of go up or down?
If I feel like that might stunt my career or do something wrong, I'm not gonna do it.